One of the most well-known stories in Sefer Bereshit is Avraham's heroic decision as a child to jump into the fiery furnace in Ur Kasdim, rather than pay homage to the idols of his society. Yet, if we take a look in our Chumashim, we'd be shocked to see that this iconic story is nowhere to be found. It is only alluded to within a few words that God took Avraham out from Ur Kasdim. In fact, the Torah's introduction to Avraham's story doesn't explicitly begin until he's already 75 years old. Why does the Torah leave out our patriarch's monumental test and instead begin with the milder test of leaving his child at home? I saw a beautiful answer in the name of Rav Simcha Zissel Brody in his work Sam Derech. Rav Brody argues that there are two types of tests in life. The first type is the split-second, grandiose type of test, where a child is saved in a moment of heroism, a terrorist attack is thwarted by a quick-thinking citizen, or a member of the community gives a large sum of money to keep an institution afloat. These are the types of tests that make headlines, that garner public respect, and make people famous. But there's a second type of test, which, in many ways, is much more significant. These are the daily challenges that life throws our way each day. There's no fame in these tests, they don't make the news, and often very few people will ever find out whether we passed or failed them. If we get lazy, frustrated, or agitated, instead of stepping up to the plate, our friends and community might never know. The reason that the Torah doesn't focus upon the test of Ur Kasdim, Rav Brody explains, is because that test was paradigmatic of the first type of test. The entire city was gathered together to see Abraham, the iconoclast, buckle when faced with the threat of death. And in that moment of great publical spectacle, Abraham made his momentous decision. Although magnificent, the Torah leaves out this story to teach us that the glamorous tests are not the most important ones. In moments of adrenaline, in sudden times of great need, when everyone is watching, many people are able to overcome their natural proclivities. But when they're home alone, when no one is watching, are they able to pass the simple, quiet tests? These commonplace tests have always existed, and they always will. But in the world of COVID, where we're alone with our families for so much longer, they are so much more common. When we come or we remain home after a long day of work and our spouse needs our help with something trivial, when we ourselves are exhausted and worried, but our children are struggling with their homework, when that friend of ours is going through a tough time and just needs a half hour and a pair of ears to listen, do we step up to the challenge, or do we rationalize our own inaction? There may be no glory without a spotlight, but private decisions may be even more momentous. Shabbat Shalom.